What is hip hop?
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 What is hip hop like? What is it?
Hip hop to me is an outlet for someone that can't do anything other than that, and someone who's passionate about it. And there's music for everybody. So
It's a form of art. Like, you can express yourself through art. Like, you can go paint a picture. You could go people graffiti on walls to let out their emotions or whatever, R.I.P. But hip hop, you can do the same thing.
Define hip hop. Hip hop is so many things. It's so many things. So many people. There's so many different styles of hip hop. But hip hop is us.
Hip hop started in the Bronx, New York. In 1979, Sugar Hill Gang released Rapper's Delight, the first commercially viable rap album. Although the group was the first to have a record played on national radio, that was only the tip of the iceberg.
In some of the most sincere hip hop, I believe, was created from 88 to 92. That was sort of like the golden era before it became tainted commercially. And you had some of the most creative albums that was created in that era. It really tells me that era was timeless. Timeless hip-hop music was made.
Teach those who don't know my name. First of all, I'm the soloist, the soul controller. Rock him, get stronger as I get older. It's one of my favorite joints right there.
I'm a child of hip hop. I grew up in the golden era. You know, I got to really listen and experience early Nas and Jay-Z and Biggie and Tupac, but I also was able to experience like De La Soul. So yeah, I mean, I think with it being like American culture, we all like people, I don't know, basically like 40 and under, kind of reflects like the influences of that culture.
Biggie was crazy when I was growing up, so I definitely was influenced by Biggie and the Jay-Z's and all that the New York music, you know. But when I got older, like once I started listening to music, Tupac was one of the greatest to me.
Mine would have to be Biggie Smalls. I'm influenced by a lot of old school artists because I think they were the most genuine. They were doing with their craft, and Juicy, one of his first singles. You don't want me to rap that.
Hip hop is a life experience told through the eyes of artists, and a story can be told by anybody.
Usually people like poor black and brown people, right? So you don't necessarily have an instrument to play, you use a record player and turn that into an instrument. You like poetry, you turn that into more performative poetry and expression. Spray cans are really cheap, and there really isn't much like fan art or museum culture like in impoverished neighborhoods. So you turn your abandoned building that's next door to you into a museum by spray painting on it. You want to dance, you get a cardboard box and you spin on your head.
McDonald's could sell a Happy Meal with hip hop if you turn on Sesame Street and Big Bird is spitting an ill 16. Why can't it work in schools?
I love hip hop because like everybody who's on the outside looking in want to just think all they talking about is just money, cars, and females.
growing up at right now, they all know about guns and drugs and violence and all that, and that's in my music, but it's not in me. So.
But the thing is, if expressing yourself is money, cars, and females, then that's what you can rap about. You feel me? If that's all you experience and that's all you can express, then go ahead.
We would like to change the attitude towards hip-hop inside schools. We could make it a part of our school culture because it is our culture. Wouldn't it be interesting to include beat making and how to measure beats into math class?
It's very difficult to break into those schools using hip-hop. Normally it's classical music and maybe a touch of jazz, but sometimes hip hop is sort of frowned upon, like, oh no, we don't want these gangsters and these thugs here.
When I was in high school, I sort of wish there was more. Like, I was super into hip hop. I got my turntables when I was like 14, and after like begging my parents for them turntables, and we just had like our own club. Friends would come over and we'd make tapes in my basement, and like I used to go to like the rec center and try to learn how to break dance, which I wasn't super good at. But yeah, I wish there was more hip hop stuff going on in my school because I would have got into it.
I think teachers like to teach kids morals and good things, and I think hip hop can send a bad message at times.
You understand what I'm saying? Like Sesame Street, for crying out loud. Yeah. Sesame Street has lyrics, you know, and they drop rhymes and lyrics and things of that nature. So I think schools just need to be a little bit more open-minded about it and stop cutting arts programs like they have been, and incorporate more arts programs.
After school programs or activities where kids might get together and just listen to music, talk about music, you know, do things like that just to get involved in music. It's tough now because of all the state standards and all the testing and everything that music is sort of taking a backseat to academics, which is unfortunate because I think it's a very important part of academics, but it's the way of the world now.
And partnered with Hip Hop on Lock. Propel Schools has Hip Hop on Lock as an official creative arts program that's in the schools full time. So we know it works, but more schools and more organizations need to be more open-minded about how powerful hip-hop could be. Hip-hop now is the #1 commercial music source that's sold, you know, and it's worldwide.
Hip-hop can help encourage artistry in the future, and we are the future. Hip-hop is the future.